This is Ryan from Whiskey and Washers, man. I appreciate you joining me. What I want to do today is just show you what I look for when I'm buying a bottle off the shelf that I've never tried before. First thing I'm going to look at is the front. You're going to get a lot of information on the front, right? Let's check it out. Yeah. So I'm just going to glance over that. You're going to get your age statement typically on there. You're going to get your proof. But one of the most important things I'm looking at is who it's distilled by, who it's bottled by, and in this case, distilled and bottled by Wild Turkey. I love Wild Turkey products. You know what? I'm going to pull this sucker off the shelf. I love Wild Turkey. Let's try it. Let's give it a shot. If you don't like Wild Turkey, you know, there's probably going to be some options out there that might be more suitable for you. But you got to know where stuff's coming from. It also helps to know how families work in terms of, so this bottle, Henry McKenna, fantastic bottle, is made by Heaven Hill. What other bottles do I have up here that are Heaven Hill? That's going to tell me they're Heaven Hill. Because I've got a lot of bottles up here that I know are from that Heaven Hill family. Here's one, as a matter of fact. Distilled and bottled by Old Fitzgerald Distillery, Bardstown, Kentucky. Well, Old Fitzgerald because it's named after him, right? So Larceny is part of the Heaven Hill family. They just have their own distillery on that same property. Elijah Craig, also part of that Heaven Hill family. What else? I got a Parker's Heritage up top there. It's hard to find that sucker. You'll never see it on the shelf, at least I never have. But understand what families these things are coming from, and also if they're making their own juice. So like Yellowstone's a great bottle. This is an older one. This is from 2017. This is their limited. Yeah, you'll see it. So I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to see distilled and aged in Kentucky. Okay, I like it. Bottled by Limestone Branch. So this isn't their juice, man. So what they're doing with this is, you go back to the front, finished in charred wine casks. So they're buying some old barrels. They're going to finish it. Take the juice out of that barrel, put it in a wine cask, and then we're going to bottle it. So you can learn a lot from a bottle. You can find out where it's distilled. You can find out who's bottling. You can find out what family it's from. Like the Booker's here. It's part of the Jim Beam family. Distilled and bottled by James B. Beam Distillery, Claremont, Kentucky. And in my opinion, if you like a family, Heaven Hill, Jim Beam, Wild Turkey. Try a lot of them. Try a lot of expressions from each family, because they're going to be they're not going to be the same. 100%. Larceny is weeded. Elijah Craig's not. McKenna, Heaven Hill 7-year. That's all the same family. It doesn't mean they're all going to taste the same. A lot of the times those are going to be the same master distillers. And that is important as well. But like, I don't like Jim Beam, but I enjoy Booker's. You know what else? Baker's at 107 proof. That 7-year. I've done a video on that. That's a fantastic bottle too. So you got to explore. You got to know how to read your bottles. Know what you're looking for on the bottles. Find out what you like, and maybe why you like it. And that's a little harder to decipher. But if you figure out the mash bill, you're probably going to like a lot of mash bills that are going to be very similar to that. You like Wild Turkey, you're going to like the family of Wild Turkey. Go after some Russells. You like Jim Beam? Go a little bit higher. Go Knob Creek. Go Booker's. Go Baker's. I mean, Old Tub. So many different bottles under the same family. And if you know what you're looking for on the back of the bottle, the front of the bottle is going to tell you stuff, but that back of the bottle, that's the secret to finding bourbons that you may not have tried before. And knowing, hey, I'm probably going to like this. So nothing worse than getting home after you think you're going to like a bottle, get home, open up, pour yourself a little bit, right? And you just don't like it. And then every time you look at your stupid bar, you're going to be like, God, can't believe I spent whatever you spent on that. And it doesn't matter even if it's a little amount. It's just a waste of money and you're not going to enjoy it. So learn what to look for on bottles. Find families that you like. The Wild Turkeys, the Heaven Hills, the Jim Beams. Find what you like, kind of stick with that family for a while. And then if you watch, for example, you'll watch my podcast. I'm not going to review frickin' Pappy and all this high-end stuff, right? Like, oh, if you like Pappy, you might like this. You can't get your hands on Pappy. Come on, let's be honest. You can't get your hands on any H. Taylors in Kansas. So I'm not going to drink a bunch of H. Taylor and then be like, oh man, this is really good. If you like this, you're probably going to like whatever it is. Well, if you don't know, if you've never had a E.H. Taylor, how are you going to know what you like? That's why I love the comparison. I'm not going to give you a bunch of flavors on my show. What I'm going to do is I'm going to taste it and I'll be like, I like to do comparisons as I'm drinking. Like tonight I did Wild Turkey Rare Breed and Wild Turkey Spirit. Oh, damn. Kentucky Spirit. And, God, I don't even think that's the name of it. What the hell what was I drinking? I've been drinking it all day. That's my problem. So, yeah, Kentucky Spirit. So, same family, man. You gotta check these things out. Like here's a Kentucky Owl that I've got. Well, they didn't make this. Distilled in Kentucky, bottled by Kentucky Owl in Louisiana. That's not their juice. This is their rye. But man, they sure are pumping up that it's Kentucky Owl. So you got to read the back, man. You just read the front of this. You're like, oh man, that's a rye whiskey from Kentucky Owl. I love Kentucky Owl stuff. Well, turn around. It's not Kentucky Owl. They didn't have anything to do with the juice except for putting it in this pretty bottle. So you got to learn what you're looking for in the bottle. Like here's another example. So Lux Row. Here's another Lux Row. Distilled and aged in Kentucky, bottled for Lux Row distillers. So Lux Row, I showed you a bottle back there. They don't do their own juice, man. Now, they're going to bottle it. They may do some blending with it and whatnot, but you got to understand, man, these are going to be very different. Like, I do enjoy that Ezra that I showed you. I can't stand this bottle. I thought I would enjoy it. So, you also have, excuse me, you also have to be wise about that. Just because you like something from, and I'm kind of contradicting myself right now, but Lux Row's not doing any of their own juice. It's not going to be as consistent as, say, a Jim Beam, that they're going to do all their juice from start to scratch. So you got to learn these things. You got to learn what to look for on a bottle, right? Here's one other thing to look for on the back of a bottle. So you're looking at this, so Texas, what do we got? It's just weird. I don't like this bottle. And again, so distilled and bottled by Balcone, so they're doing it all. But goodness sake, look right above that. Aged at least 1 day in oak. 1 day? Like, what are we doing? 1 day? That's not bourbon. I mean, that's not even whiskey. And you notice, whiskey is spelled whiskey, right? Because it did touch a barrel. But yeah, so learn these things. Hopefully you'll learn something from me tonight. Check the back of bottles. Figure out what you like. And, man, just try not to get the same bottle every time. I know it's hard. You're going to find stuff you like, and you're going to stand at that shelf and you're going to be like, God, I know I like this. I would also recommend come up and see me at Sam's Liquor in Pacer. I've tried dang near every bottle on our shelf. You tell me what you like, I'm going to find you a bottle you may never have tried before, and you're probably going to like it because I've tried them all, and I know what tastes like what other bottles. So just whatever you can learn from things. Hopefully you'll learn a little bit just in these few minutes from me tonight. And happy hunting. Man, it's supposed to be fun. Just it's not fun that when you get a bottle you don't like, though, and I totally get that. So check backs of bottles. They're gonna tell you a lot, and you can learn a lot from that. That way you don't end up coming home like, these are the bottles I don't enjoy, basically. And they're over on this side, and it's small. I mean, I got three bottles, basically, two, a rye, a bourbon, and then whatever you call this was, that was just a mistake, but Um, the more you understand how to read a bottle, the better you're going to be at finding bottles that you like, and the less often you're going to have a bottle that you just don't enjoy. So hopefully this helps. I'm going to probably do this at the store too, because there's going to be a lot more examples. It'll help knowing what bourbon comes from what family, who's making their own juice, who's just bottling it, who's doing some of their own juice, and then blending it with somebody else's. These are all things that distilleries have to do, and if you don't know these things, man, you can spend a lot of money and not like the bourbon. So number one, find a bourbon you really like, and then kind of stay in that family, and then branch out after that. After you really know what your palate likes, it helps knowing how to read a bottle, and you'll be able to find bottles you like. So hopefully this one rambling. I'm kind of been drinking the Rare Breed and the Kentucky Spirit today. So I appreciate you listening to me. I appreciate you watching me. I appreciate you enjoying bourbon. Hopefully in a few years you'll be able to taste some of my bourbon. I'll have it out, man, and I'll be all over YouTube pushing it out. So appreciate it again. Have a happy day. Happy bourbon hunting, and don't forget to read that back label. You learn a lot. Thanks again for joining me.